welcome to the Freak Show. Bumpy McSquiggums here. I want to thank you all for joining me as I take another first look, this time at Ash of Gods Redemption. It's by RM Dust and Whisper Games. Releases on March 23rd, 2018. So just a little bit ways off, folks. And this has been a game that I've been following on Twitter and checking out the development and everything for quite a while. It will be very reminiscent of another specific title, or two. In fact, there's going to be 3 relatively soon. And you'll see with the art style and everything else. You guys should like this. This is actually going to be a return to form for me a little bit, as I am more known for and really do like covering and cover a lot of tactical turn-based strategy games. This will definitely be along those lines. I've taken a little jaunt into JRPGs and a bunch of various other things, so this should make a lot of folks happy. Anyway, that being said, the game itself looks fantastic, and I'm going to hop in and play it. I did do this exact video yesterday, but I was so exhausted and tired, I didn't even watch to see what it ended up being like, so I just decided to delete and start over as it goes. So, we begin anew. There is Classic Mode, a full-fledged gaming experience. You will be on a difficult path of suffering and deprivation. Or Story Mode, special mode for history buffs. The system of auto-fighting, powerful characters, and additional resources that will allow you to focus only on the story. So cool, let's go with Classic. Pretty excited. It's gonna be pretty cool. Year 300 since Divine Retribution, the spring equinox. I'll read the little stuff at the bottom, otherwise I'm gonna try to be quiet, so if you don't see me going, oh, ooh, then that's because I'm gonna be quiet. Anyway, I'll hush. Well, that seemed like a terrible little adventure. Unsolved mysteries are like unquenched thirst, premonitions of trouble to spur you to keep going. Now, keep in mind, I'm probably, like, almost 100% guaranteed to butcher almost every single name and pronunciation in this game. Just bear that in mind, folks. It's part of the charm, or part of the infuriation. Either way, enjoy. Or don't. I mean, whatever. It's up to you. I like this, actually. It's just fun. Little skeletal people walking around. One's playing a little lute, or a lute. A lute is a guitar. Sorry, a flute type item. Or, I don't know, some sort of wind instrument. And the other one's just banging on a gong or a shield or a cymbal or something. So, there you have it. 1,002 years since Divine Retribution. The end of winter. The Vale of Mercy. Foothills of the Milky Mountains. "700 years ago, you and the other Kuros, took to the field of the drowsy deep to prevent a great calamity, the reaping. Your self-sacrifice should have destroyed all reapers, once and for all. 9 years ago, you began feeling a growing sense of unease and decided to roam Terminum to find the reason. A month ago, you met a temple guard in the town of Gordon. There was something peculiar about him. Feeling a long-forgotten sense of dread, you realized it was an Umbra Reaper in disguise. He noticed you, too, but chose not to pursue. He merely winked at you, bowing in jest. The return of the Umbra forewarns of the impending reaping, so you head to the Milky Mountains to find the local seeress. You hope to learn the time and place of the coming reaping, and prevent it. When you'd stepped onto the narrow path, you'd noticed several sets of footprints, At the time, you thought that other people seeking the seeress's advice must have anticipated you, but no. They're just robbers looking for an easy target. Oh, but they will find out that indeed, we are not an easy target. Alright, so welcome to combat, ladies and gentlemen. We are not going to skip the tutorial, as I very rarely ever do. We're going to hop in, we're going to learn all about the game, the systems and everything, the mechanics and so on and so forth. So, it should be super fun times and good stuff all around. We'll figure it out. Time to act. Blue tiles indicate where your character can move during this turn. However, orange tiles indicate extra moving distance. Your character must spend some energy, which I guess is the secondary thing there, to move to that spot. Select the ability Quick Strike. I guess that's this one. Can't really tell, but I assume. You can reach and attack an enemy standing on a flashing tile. Click on an enemy unit. Most attacks allow you to damage either the enemy's health or their energy. Select health damage. Okay. So, this doesn't look familiar in any way or shape or form, right, guys? Anything else is totally not inspired by anything? Like, hey, I'm not begrudging it at all. I think it's totally fine. I love games that are inspired by other games, especially if they do them right, and they do the research, and they bring something good to the table. Sometimes people will mimic, copy, or like I said, be inspired by another title, and then they'll just do a really bad job. And I don't want to say tarnish the other ones, but they'll make them stand out better as opposed to adding to it. I think this is going to be one that adds to it quite a bit, so we'll see. By damaging an enemy's energy, you reduce their options because faster movement and powerful abilities require energy. Moreover, if an enemy has 0 energy left, double damage will be dealt to the health instead of energy, which is pretty cool. That's a really cool mechanic. This enemy right here, he has a lot of health, but only 5 energy. It makes sense to strip him of that remaining energy to start dealing double damage to HP, or health. You can move to the selected tile first and then choose your attack. Click on a tile adjacent to the enemy and confirm your movement. I have confirmed. I shall walk over here slowly and stand before you. I am now going to select the exact same thing I selected before, but now instead of called Quick Strike, it's called Devouring Blow. I don't know why. That's one thing that I noticed last time, so it's strange. But again, this is still before it released, and it is kind of a beta build, and stuff is subject to change. Could be skills, talent, abilities, characters, maybe art assets, and balance to the game. It's all subject to change. I even said that on a flash screen before the game started, so just something to be aware of, folks. Alright, click on the enemy. I can do that. Select energy damage. Your character will strip the enemy of all energy, and the remaining damage will be dealt as double damage to health instead, so you can't really see, but he'll end up with only 6 HP left. We'll defeat all of his energy, and it's going to be good. So, let's do it. And he is now nearly dead. End the battle. That's the plan. They want us to figure out how to finish. Well, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to walk on over. I haven't actually tried WASD. It doesn't look like it moves anything. But you can drag and... Okay, that's fine. Alright, so this is called Quick Strike, even though it was called something else a second ago. And now we're going to use a circular hit. And I'm going to go for the HP of everyone, or I could literally do it either way. So this way we do only 22 damage to the guy up top, and 26 to the guy on the bottom. If we go for energy, we do 34 to the guy on top and 58 to the bottom. So definitely draining energy is the way to go if they have low energy pools, or stores, if you will. That's a really cool mechanic. I like that. I like that a lot. They didn't like it so much. They kind of had a bad time. Alright, and there we are. Aren't we just lovely? No, we're terrifying. You are about to knock on the hut's door when it's suddenly flung open. A woman appears on the doorstep. Your heart leaps from your chest. She's the one you'd left behind when you went to fight in the Battle of the Dale of Datura. She's the one you loved, Amma. In a detached manner, Blance, what took you so long? It's been 702 years. You managed to survive when 12 of our brethren perished. Did you go into hiding? Bitterly, please call me Hopper. I'm already used to my new name. I was called Blance when we were together. I wasn't hiding in that battle, you know. I was wounded, pierced by arrows. That's why I didn't complete my task. Nodding, yes, I've heard the legend of the 12 brave ones, who cast an enchantment on themselves and turned into stone. They achieved their goal. Now their land is free from the plague and the reaping. The price was too high, though, if you ask me. Why did you come looking for me again? Well, I wasn't searching for you, but the local seerists. There are signs. Bestias are leaving the forest of Datura. The Vandal witch has been sighted on the woodland trails. I stumbled upon Atrak, I don't know, in Gordon myself. They have returned. Another reaping is nigh, perhaps. Smirking, oh, that's a foolish question, Hopper. I do not foretell the obvious. You might as well have asked whether winter will follow autumn. The reaping is coming. You know it. All loose ends shall be tied. Smirking, that's a foolish question. What do you mean by tied? What do you know of the coming... Yeah, what do you mean by tied? One day the final reaping will come. The question is if there will be anything left in this world afterwards. Why would you care, though? Aren't you immortal? I am the same as you, Amma. Even if we are both Umbra, we have long embraced the human way of life, and I care about Terminum's fate. To the reaping, we are no more than specks of dust. This time, we don't have 12 comrades willing to sacrifice themselves. Among those still alive, some will succumb and become reapers themselves, or rippers themselves. Do you really want to get involved? I need to stop the reapings. It's my fault they're happening again. Irritated. You need to get off your pedestal. We are maggots, the lowliest servants lucky enough to be seated at the dining table. Are you looking for the forsaken gods of this land? I have a book that describes the life of one. Here, take a look. I had a good laugh reading this nonsense. Receiving the gift. Thank you for the book. I feel like that was not intended as an actual legit gift, but, you know, it's whatever. I've been searching high and low for similar records. But still, when and where will the reaping begin? I need to be there. That's where I'm needed. I know it. The souls of the dead have tortured me with guilt for 700 years. Help me! Looking you in the eye. Give me the knife you keep in your bag. The kind our brethren sacrifice themselves with. Give it to me, and you'll get your answers. Passing the bundle, pity. I'd really hoped to use it. I doubt anything else can kill a reaper. Well, here you go, but why do you want it? Taking the knife, the reaping shall occur on the day of the vernal equinox, both in the north and the south, in the towns of Woden and Albius. I wouldn't waste time if I were you. Sadly, I don't have time to reach the north. Farewell. I hope our paths cross again, though you still haven't told me why you needed the knife. I saw you kill me with this very knife, Hopper, so I hope our paths never cross again. Farewell. Well, that's creepy and sad. What does one need to meet old age in peace, only to avoid a major disaster? Interesting. And as you would expect for a game inspired by Name Redacted, there's nothing against them. Hold on. Year 1200 since Divine Retribution. Burkana, the Kingdom of Odala, City of Albus. The game just looks beautiful, just like the art style of the other one. The Spring Equinox, 8th year of peace since the last war. A retired captain of the guard and his daughter are strolling through the festival market. Cool. She vanished. She vanished. Speaking to herself, this is most bizarre. A woman in strange clothes is walking away from the town hall. Her beauty should be turning heads, but I seem to be the only one noticing her. Huh. Quietly. Gleda, are you daydreaming again? Gleda? Oop. You nudge your daughter as you see Baron Trobel, the burgomaster of the town, approach you. Isn't it Burgomeister? And also, I may have skipped a thing. I apologize. Oh, I didn't even know I could do that. The son of a family of impoverished farmers. He's a retired captain of Odalan Royal Guard whose name graces the Book of Honor's first page. He was a 3-time fencing champion of Barkana and was the best swordsman in Odala for a decade. He is a mentor and patron of the Albius Young Warriors Regiment and a role model for both students and subordinates. He climbed every rung of the military ladder, rising from page and shield bearer to Count Vichti to his Grace's savior during the famous campaign of the Edge of Terminum and the Vale. He's a veteran of the northern campaigns, the Gabonin War, and the Battle of the Southern Isles. He's been given the title of Baron, a family coat of arms, several royal awards, and an honorary pension. He has also sired 2 children with his only wife. Cool. Good day, Thorn. How are you, Gleda? I take it there's a reason you have been combing the market since dawn. Looking for a gift for Leaky? It's Trobel. Subject of the Odala, distant relative to the Jeranan, king on his mother's side, retired head of state tax collection, and baron by birth. An old and childless bachelor, listed in the Jeranan Book of Honor as the King's Army's best sutler in half a century. I don't know what that means. Burgomaster of the frontier town of Albius, overseer of the Manas River Bridge and a Burkana trade route, patron of the Albius Regiment of Young Soldiers, and lifelong guardian of the Albius Menhir. Commended by Odalan, King's grandfather, for impeccable service, and rewarded with an engraved bronze bell representing the Albius Town Hall Bell Tower. Creepy. Dude's face is terrifying slightly, maybe? Grinning. Good day, Thorn. How are you? Okay, you just said that. Alright. No, we're just strolling. Are you choosing to sacrifice for the feast? Yes, how did you know? Patting you on the shoulder. Albius isn't the biggest town around. There aren't too many captains of the Royal Guard here, and even fewer captains' wives. And only one of these wives celebrates her birthday on the festival of the spring equinox. Please give her my birthday wishes. With gratitude, I will, Burgomaster, though you are most welcome to stop by and do it in person. The Burgomaster is eager to carry on, but one of the citizens calls his name. Trobel nods to you and tends to business. Interesting. Looking at the retreating Burgomaster, stubborn old man, he seems reticent. Smiling, I've heard he is a distant relative of the king himself. Let's read about the Gleda and Brennan. Daughter of Thorn and Leaky, Brennan, and appointed a baroness. The ancestral book of Vichti cites her and her brother as her mother's father's Count Stachechvechti's heir. That's confusing. She was given special permission to join the Albius Regiment of Young Soldiers and now studies the art of war under her father's guidance. She was enlisted as a maid of honor for the royal house of Odala, but never visited the royal court because of her young age. The Odalan mentors describe her as a young woman inclined toward exact sciences and fine arts, who has high sensitivity and resistance to magic. For the past 3 years, she's been training with her mother in Albius City, where her family now lives. Smirking, the distance of their relation may be the secret to his longevity. Well, we got carried away and are no closer to picking a gift for Leahy. What are we going to give her? Will you give me a hint? What would your mother like? Thorn Brennan. This icon in the dialogue window means that your choice will have far-reaching consequences. Well, I'm going to go with exactly what I did in the first one, just so you guys know. I said I literally recorded the episode, but I was super tired and I was like falling asleep halfway through it, so I felt commentary, reading, everything was just subpar, so I had to redo it, guys and gals. So that might even be why these choices are all grayed out, because it might keep your choices from a past thing, so you can choose a new choice in your subsequent playthrough. I don't know if that's the case, but that's what I'm going to go with. I'm assuming that's why it's that way. Then we should head to Rask's shop by the town hall. If we need clothing, then we can visit the cloth merchants. It's so beautiful. Such a pretty art style. I like it. The dude's got a banana on his head. What the heck is that? Come on, old banana head. What are you doing? Alright, welcome to town. We have Pataganaganamahanamana stall. As one of the merchants trading in textiles and clothes. We can talk to Gleda. Looks like she wants to say something, but she is too shy. Perhaps you could ask her about it. Was there something you wanted to discuss? I know what Mommy really needs. Health for her aching heart. With hope, is there any way to improve her health? Magic? Divine intervention? I do not believe in magic. The gods, it seems. Like, she's literally resistant to magic. How could you not believe in magic? It's in her description, man. Come on. The gods, it seems, do not even help their own servants. Do you remember what their temple is called? The Temple of Divine Retribution. It would be silly to expect any help from them. I wish we knew why they had to exact this retribution on your mother. With a sigh, then we should content ourselves with what the marketplace has to offer, and I shall win tomorrow's fencing tournament in her honor. Do you really think she will take pleasure in watching her daughter hurl herself at another's blade, even if it is a practice sword? Mommy used to fence when she was younger. In a bitter voice, I could never understand that. Thank all the gods she didn't have to use her skill even once. Frowning. Alright, let's go buy something. Alright, and we're going to go to Rask's shop. Your old friend Rask. He trades in jewelry and antiques. Or antiques. Speaking to herself, did Dad find out where I really go during my lunchtime strolls? There's nothing criminal in it, but I'd rather nobody knew of my manuscript hunting. I said I went to the pastry shop, which wasn't exactly true. I just hope Rask doesn't give me away. Gleda, this is Rask, an old friend and expert in all kinds of curiosities. We've known each other since Oda. Hello, Rask. It's been a while. Smiling. It's been 3 years, my dear Thorn. We've run into each other now and then, but ever since you arrived in town, freshly retired, and bought a silver necklace with a garnet, you've forgotten all about my shop. Are you here to pick a new gift for Leaky? What's up with Rask? Oh boy. A trader in antiques, or antiques if you will, amulets and jewelry. Ran a shop in Oda, later moving his business to Albius, official benefactor to orphanages in Oda, Perta, and Jera. Subject to the Pertan crown, according to the tax records, holds inherited property licenses in Oda, Albius, Jera, Gabo, and Friga. Mortgage bonds in his name issued in 356 or later have been deemed legitimate despite their obscure provenance. He claims that the bonds were for family property, but without living relatives to corroborate his assertion, it cannot be verified. According to census records and tax documents, the merchant is quite old, though the date of his birth is unknown. No bondsman, no known heir, no known charges, fines, corporal punishment, or prison sentences on record. In the Royal Chancellery of Odala, a general mortgage bond for all of the merchant's earthly possessions was found, made out to the name of Cheerland. There is no individual with this name in the kingdom's census records. According to Rask, he hasn't yet been born. That's interesting and weird. You guessed right. Will you help me pick something nice? I remember the last time you bought a birthday present for her during the spring equinox. I won't lie. I'd have been happy if you'd bought jewelry for me every year since. My wife hasn't been interested in jewels for these past few years. However, the garnet necklace is her favorite, and she has been feeling better in recent months. Is it true that garnets aid a weak heart? If I'm not mistaken, garnets possess no magical properties, but some other stones do. Potions cannot heal an aching heart, but family love can preserve it. Though I have heard that there is a particularly skilled healer in Ursus. Unda is her name, but even she cannot perform miracles. What stones were you talking about? You are wearing one of them on your chest. A Strix, your captain's insignia and your protection. In troubled times like these, it can protect you from a common woe. What common woe is this? A common woe? That is how ancient texts describe the reaping, a plague that takes countless lives. I see you enjoy perusing ancient manuscripts. Get off it, old friend. Use something other than old wives' tales to sell your goods. And Gleda, it's about time you grew out of such childish stories. Irritated. If you doubt the magical properties of Strix, remove your captain's insignia. Just don't put it away. It might come in handy, although several generations have passed and the need for it has not arisen. Why are you so fixated on this pendant? Is a Strix really that valuable? Well, I don't offer anything to anybody without a particular reason. Nevertheless, I have had premonitions these past days. Providence must have brought you to my shop today. You are looking for a gift, and I want you and your family to survive the troubled times to come. Call me superstitious or even crazy if you like. I hope that I am mistaken, but unfortunately my premonitions almost always come true. And you, Thorn, will benefit from this Strix. It is very expensive, but you can pay in installments over several years. Rask reaches into a box and places a highly polished stone on the counter. The metal setting is very unusual. It looks like an insect clutching the stone tightly in its legs. If this large Strix reduces in size, the platinum base will squeeze its paws to hold it tightly. Consider it magic if you like. Tell me how your amulet works. I will tell you what the ancient texts say about Strixes. When a common woe comes, death walks among humans and siphons their life blood. Yet death finds a Strix sweeter than human life and drains it first. Until the Strix has been completely sucked dry, its wearer has a chance to survive. It gives hope. You can buy hope then. So, what's the price? Such rare items do not come cheap. The price of the stone is 1,000 gold coins. Even if you let me pay in installments for 10 years, I still can't afford this. If you only knew how quickly decades go by. I mean at my age. You can think in decades. In our case, every hour counts, right, Gleda? Do you have any gift ideas? I would consider the Strix. Listening to something. Here is what we'll do. Take the stone, no deposit, no acknowledgement of debt, and I'll take your word, Thorn. For if you lie, I will lose faith in kind people. If you or your family find no use for it in the next year, you'll return it. Agreed? It would be foolish to decline such a generous offer. A Strix it is, even if I have to return it in a year's time. You're behaving oddly today, Rask. You take the Strix from the table and hide it under your shirt. When you look up, Rask is staring at the ceiling, his face pale. We received 20 Strixes. At first you were confused, but then you, too, hear the bell ringing in the town hall. This doesn't sound like our bell ringer. Could it be that Trouble has finally sacked the bell ringer and hired someone sober? And you, Rask, doesn't the bell annoy you, ringing 4 times a day? You watch in surprise as Rask takes a big sack and starts emptying the contents of his numerous drawers, big and small, into it. Growing pale, just a matter of habit, my dear Thorn. Time gets you used to much stranger things. Hurriedly, you do not realize how wise you've chosen your gift. Silver could come in handy, of course, but a Strix will most certainly aid you. And if it does not, how many years will I be paying for it? 5? 10? And if it does, how many years? The bell keeps tolling. Rask slings his sack over his shoulder and takes an axe with a curved handle from the wall. It no longer matters. I hope we'll meet again, but now I would flee from the city if I were you. The Opacum fortress is the safest place to go. The merchant retreats into his shop. You hear the back door open and close. Turning to Gleda. Gleda, it looks like Rask has lost his mind. We should leave. Oh, that's not good. dude's face. You see Baron Trouble lying on the ground, dying. Blood gushes from his mouth, nose, ears, and eyes. To no one in particular. You are tough. It's Dorp called the Reaper. One of the Reapers, according to Temple Canon, distinguished by hair braided and greased with oil or bile, by shackles, and by the pins of steel and bronze holding his flesh together. Oh, lovely. Armed with a double glaive of gray metal, stands second in hierarchy of heralds carrying out the divine retribution. Profoundly strong and powerful, but also indifferent. Practitioner of doleful callousness, and a collector of the deadly tax. Yeah, yeah, ew. You struggle to stay on your feet. Blood is gushing from your nose. Gleda, scared to death, is clinging to you from behind. But rather taciturn. Who are you? Cocking his head. No need for you to know. You use the last reserves of your energy to stay upright. Your heart is about to leap out of your chest. Your throat contracts. Studying your face. Dying already? No, I'm going to live a bit longer. It seems the monster is grinning. It clenches its fist, and your heart clenches in your chest. A moment later, the unbearable pain lifts. Suffered a minor injury. Towering over you, the monster examines you intently for a few seconds, then extends its arm and points at your pendant. The monster grabs your captain's insignia, clenching it in its fist. With a hissing sound, the strix and the pendant shrinks. Nodding, the reaping will start with your family. Thorn Brennan. I didn't get to see what that was. When the monster vanishes, you shake your head, trying to clear it. Exhaling. Oh, blessed gods. Did you hear what he said about our family? Quick, we have to get home. Well, that's bad. That is a very ominous start to the proceedings here. In fact, everything up to this point has been rather ominous. I'm just saying. Gleda's outcry makes you stop in your tracks. Your daughter hastily pulls some kind of colored plaques from under her belt. That's what's almost burnt my tummy. Ras gave them to me about a week ago. A long time ago, they supposedly were magical battle cards. Suddenly, they became so hot to the touch. Take a look at the cards. Okay. You hear footsteps and turn in the direction of the sound. Three thugs are barring the way. Their puffy faces are contorted with mindless rage. Did highwaymen get so brazen as to attack townsfolk, hoping for an easy gain? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be a tale for another time. That is going to do it for this very first episode in our first look coverage. I will be coming back to this at least once, maybe twice more before the game fully releases and I start up my coverage then. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. I feel much better about this recording than the last time I did it. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel, guys and gals. There'll be plenty more of this to come and a bunch of other stuff. There's a ton of things on the channel. Over 5,000 videos you can get lost in for weeks and days and probably months. Not quite a year yet. Anyway, so yeah, subscribe to the channel. If you want more information about the game, where to get the game, information on the developer, the publisher, any of that wonderful fun stuff will all be down below in the description of the video. Once again, it is called Ash of God's Redemption, releases on March 23rd, 2018. And definitely you should go check it out if you're a fan of tactical turn-based strategy games. That being said, my name's Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you so much for stopping by the Freak Show, and I will see you later.